How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Daddy Dave, and this is a map tour for a new mod map here on Farming Simulator 25 for PC and Mac only, called Palatinate Forest. And we're going to start with the description from the mod hub, and it reads, "Welcome to Palatinate Forest, the largest contiguous forest area in Germany and part of the cross-border Palatinate Forest Northern Vosges Biosphere Reserve. Characterized by deep valleys with steep slopes and dense mixed forests, it offers a unique landscape for hikers, nature lovers, and the forestry industry. You can expect real terrain elevation model, real life roads and paths, 82,000 trees, 52 forest sections with deciduous, coniferous, and mixed forests, 2 purchasable production areas, 4 sales outlets, 2 pre-built farms, 35 spots for transport missions. Please note, due to the challenging terrain and narrow winding paths, roads, no splines for helpers have been installed, otherwise they would constantly get stuck. Since the map is focused on forestry, no animal dealer was included. All textures used in this map that are not publicly available may only be used after prior agreement. This is a European map created by Westpals Modding and is 305.13 megabytes to download. There are mods required for this map, and they are the Bulk Material Warehouse by Black Tiger, the Heavy Duty Rack Element by ELD, Fuel Tank 5000L by Polypol, Metal Fence Pack by Cayman, Barrier Package by Melik, Metal Shelter Pack by Caster DS Agrar Service, Double Rod Mat Fence Pack by Modding Association Katsu. If we take a look at the map, this is what it looks like. We start out down here in the southern portion of the map on our main starting farm, and we start out by owning farmlands number 19 and 20. 19 is our main starting farm, plus an itty bitty little field with no product in it. And down here, number 20 is a forestry area. You can buy all areas in the map, and the prices of the map do vary. So we do have a kind of periphery area. We click on, here, let's actually go over to farmlands. You can see here, $1.8 million for this periphery area on this map. It includes all the major roads as well as some of the purchasable areas as well. So you can purchase everything and be able to actually place down things all around the map. And then the prices around the map do vary, but for the most part, they're relatively reasonable, actually. Number 14 here, 68,000. We got 240,000, 52,000, 185,000, 118, 268. We got an itty bitty plot for 24 over here. 126, 242, 241, 694. Let's see, we got 360, 694, and so on and so forth. So you can get some really decent amount of property for relatively cheap. It's not that terrible. There are no animals on this map. Contracts are available on this map, but they're all the transporting of the wood logs, the stone breaking, and the dead wood contracts. They're nothing like to do with any kind of farming or anything like that, because there's no fields on this map. It's just forestry. We do have production chains available on this map, but none to start out with. And if we take a look at the collectibles, there are none on this map. So that is, let's see, what we need to look at for that one. Now, if we take a look at mods specific to this map, we go under the Buy menu. There is no mods and DLCs tab here, so there are no mods specific to this map under the Buy menu, but under the Build menu, we go in there and we scroll, actually, there is nothing at all under building, so nothing on any of these sub-tabs here. But under productions, there's nothing here under factories. But if we scroll over to selling points, scroll all the way down, you'll see Palatinate Forest mod. That is a mod that is specific to this map. But there is nothing under greenhouses, cultivation, or generators. There's nothing at all under animals. But again, if we stop here under decorations, scroll down in fences, you'll see here, there, Palatinate Forest mods. That is a mod specific to this map. Nothing for lights, others, or decorations. And then lastly here under our landscaping and our painting swatches, you'll see we have a ton of extra options here. So there are mod specific under the painting swatches, nothing for trees and nothing for plants. Now we do start here at the starting farm, so let's go ahead and take a look at our starting equipment. Starting out here on this tab, scrolling over to vehicles, we have the Albut log fork, the Fendt 516 Vario, the Hauer XB 150 front loader, the Kubota RTV XG 850 sidekick, and we have the Velzelt P13 4272 log trailer. And that's it. Not a whole lot going on this map with the equipment, but plenty going on around the map. So let me go ahead and start showing that off. Go ahead and open the gate. All right, first things first, we're going to head out to the left here, followed by almost immediate right. And then we're going to head on down in this direction to our first point of interest, tucked away all the way over here. We have a sawmill. Now this is one of the personal sawmills. So if you come over and purchase it, you can purchase it for $36,000, but you only get 3 out of the 4 available productions that can be produced at a sawmill. So you get the planks long, and wood beams. Those are the ones that you can produce with this one. This is missing the prefab walls. We have our input here and output there. And now we're going to backtrack. Now, just a word of warning, it's going to take a while between each one of our points of interest, because the way that the roads are laid out here, you're windy, twisty, turning, and we only have a few. There's only a few points of interest, but they're very well spread out amongst the entirety of the map. So it's one of those where you're going to see and hear, you're going to hear a bit of silence in between certain places, and you're just going to kind of see me just kind of talk at this point, because we got a little bit of driving and got to try my best to fill in the voids. But I want to not cut away or fast forward, because I feel like there's just so much beauty on this map. So I think that the silence will be, at times will be better than just fast forwarding to just get to the next place kind of thing. But as we continue along, traveling next to this little creek kind of valley area off to the right, I mean, absolutely beautiful. You got sheer cliff on the right. We got, nice little incline on the left there. And we got these cool little mix of different types of roads on this map. So you can see we're traveling down a nice little concrete road here. That's, well, not concrete, but a good paved road. There's our main starting field right there. It's really tiny. Yeah, we get a good mix of paved roads. We get another mix of like the 2 tracks just off to my right here. We also get some like really intense, like really off-road style 2 tracks as well. Over here, we have the biomass heating plant with a wood cell trigger just off the left there. And then heading off in this direction, we'll hit our next point of interest. Get to come here and see some signs of life. Now, directly in front of me, we have the shop trigger right here. Repair trigger right over here. And gas station directly in front of me. So now we need to turn back around and backtrack a little ways. The one thing about this map is that it really funnels you. You are like, there's those maps where you're able to get from point A to point B because you're able to cut through the map and just go as the crow flies kind of thing. You don't have to worry about, taking the roads and all this stuff. You don't get that here. That is not an option. You can't, I just can't turn off to the right there and just start climbing the hills. Like, there's certain areas on this map that are absolutely sheer drops. And yeah, it's just not going to be conducive to try and just go off-road just to get to a place potentially faster. And honestly, with how steep some of the hills are, you'd probably just get there faster just by going up the normal trail. Even though you're going further to get to the point where you want to get, trying to climb up the trail or climb up the walls that are kind of hemming you in, it's probably not going to save you much, if any time at all. So as we go up and up in elevation, we're just going to keep climbing this windy, twisty road up here and just continue to take in all the beauty that's on this map. And you can really see just how much of a shift there is in the terrain as we just kind of look down into the valley. Just wow, just absolutely wow. Now, one thing I will say about this map is make sure you learn the roads and you learn them early. Don't sit there and just try to learn them as you do things. The reason I say that is because if you try and get like some bigger set equipment on this map, let's say a semi truck with a log trailer kind of thing, well, there's not a lot of opportunity to turn around. And there's certain areas, I'll show it to you later, that you're going to get stuck if you do it. If you go down the wrong path with the wrong set of equipment, you're going to get stuck. And then good luck trying to get out of it. And what I mean by stuck is not necessarily like you're going to be stuck in one place, but that it's so narrow to be able to get in and out of anything that you're going to have to try and reverse to some place where you're going to be able to then get pulled forward again. And those, as you can see, are few and far between. You don't get a lot of opportunity to correct a mistake on this map. Now, tucked away over here is farm number 2. So we take a look at the map. We started all the way down here in this area here, came down to the sawmill, then came shooting up to the north, following this road past our main starting farmyard, or our main starting field here, went past the biomass heating plant, took that in. We also saw the shop trigger repair trigger, and the gas station here. Backtracked to about right here, came up the mountain, windy twisty, whoops, not over there, windy twisty over to here, and then over to Farmland number 56. You can purchase it for $12,733. We will do so, and you can see wardrobe trigger, sleep trigger, and a fuel tank. Get turned around here. And then tucked away just back here, we have the sawmill. This is the bigger sawmill. So this one has all 4 of the components that you can make for a sawmill. $300,000 will purchase this one, and you can see if we open it, you'll be able to get all 4 of those actual production types. So the planks long, prefabbed walls, and wood beams. Now output is right over there, and input right here with the wood cell trigger back there. Get turned around because we got one more point of interest, and again, this one's a ways out. It's going to take us a hot minute to get to it, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Now, as we travel down this kind of northern portion of the map here, this gives me such Halmokra vibes that I just, every time I come down here, it just feels like it's that map. You know, you got the, sheer cliff on the left side, you got the valley and river to the right. that's what this road reminds me of. And it being up in the northern portion of the map too, it's also kind of, what's making it kind of make me think of that map as well. Oh. I went and looked at my notes and ran into a tree. As we continue on, the beautiful river off to the left there. All right, now coming up here is the farmer's market sell point, and that's it. You got a little purchasable area down back there, or placeable area, I should say, but that is it. Everything here for Palatinate Forest. Now it's time to render my opinion, let you know what I think. 0 to 5 scale as per usual. I love this map. I absolutely love this map. Now, I'm not a big forestry guy, so let me throw that out there right now. I'm not big on it whatsoever. It's one of those that I will do it when I have to, but other than that, it's not my most favorite thing. This map makes me want to get into it. Makes me want to be like, oh, I want to take a crack at this. Because this has challenge, like, just written all over it. Not challenge as in, hey, I'm going to do X thing by this time or that way or what. No, I'm not talking about that kind of challenge. I'm just saying, in general, this map is going to pose so many challenges to be able to just survive on this map. It's going to be incredible. Now, remember me saying earlier about, be careful about the equipment and where you're driving? This is one of the roads I'm talking about. If you're taking a big semi-truck with a fully loaded log trailer, you're probably not getting up this hill. Probably not. And if you're trying to traverse this in the wintertime, I meant to turn there. If you're trying to traverse this in the wintertime, good luck. Absolutely good luck. Now you can see there's essentially 4 road types on this map. There are the paved roads, the 2-track that we were just on there, where it's kind of the medium dirt kind of thing, which is more kind of rough-ish. You've got this where it's more kind of laid out with stone, the 2-track with stone, and this one's very kind of forgiving for a 2-track. Some elevation shifts, big and small, but for the most part, it's pretty forgiving. But then you get the dark dirt paths, and those ones are basically you're freshly cutting into the forest kind of thing. So the road is very uneven, very bumpy, lots of shifting in the terrain underneath you. It gets nuts. So you can see this is part of the dark dirt path I'm talking about. It's very steep at times, it gets very rough, or you can see the trees start to play an effect. So it basically indicates based on my observations, the darker the path of the dirt, the more difficult it's going to be to traverse, kind of thing. And as you can see right here in front of me, tree blocking this whole thing. So you're gonna, if you own the property, you're gonna be able to cut this tree out, but where we're going, I don't need roads. But I mean, everything about this map just makes me really want to be on it. Everything about it. And then you get areas like this, up on top of the mountain, and voila. Opens up wide open into this very kind of flat-ish chunk of land, to where there's tons of trees, tons of forestry to be done up here, and you can really build this out and make something up here That's what's cool about this map, is that there's so many different things on it. So many different ways to kind of cut and slice this. You know, depending on how challenging you want to get, you can really crank up the challenge. Actually, here, let's go this way. Yeah, there we go. But I mean, absolutely beautiful map. Everything about this map I absolutely adore. So color palette, love it. It's toned down. There's not a bunch of wildflowers or anything that's going to be, you know, making that kind of cartoon feel that will often happens with a map. This one is just nice and mellow. You got a bunch of greens, and you got, you know, basically browns, greens, a couple of pops of white every once in a while if you got like a poplar tree or something. But really, other than that, it's just seems extremely natural. And that's what I like about this map, is it just feels natural. Like this is obviously someplace that exists. And according to the description, it's using real terrain data. And also, one thing to point out, if you zoom out, look at this. You got the kind of Google Maps image of the map. How cool is that? How cool is that? I love that. I absolutely love that there is some kind of grounding to a map. And this one is very much grounded in that sense of, you know, this is based off of real life. This is based off a real location. I think that's awesome. On top of that, this has some personality to it, has some characteristic to it. More than just that it is a forestry map, but this is the highest megabyte forestry map I can think of off the top of my head. 300 and some megabytes for this. You can see where all that detail is coming from, between the trees, between the, you know, all the different, you know, little odds and ends that you can find on this map. It's, yeah. And then you get the, like, the little pops of life, you know, in regards to, okay, here's, you know, here's a bunch of houses, here's a little bit of productions, you know, things along those lines. So you get to see just really cool kind of stuff along those lines. I do think that this is a really special map. And as I'm just kind of sitting here and driving around, just kind of showing this off, the other thing that I love about this is that because the forestry angle, and this is another one of those dark roads I was talking about earlier, is as you go through here, you'll see that the terrain gets really kind of dangerous. As you can see, you can fall off into the pit there. You got these big like waves and bumps in the road. If you're driving at speed, will send you catapulting off the road. Hence the reason why you've got these kind of dangerous little crevasses and, you know, stuff like that. But if we head off in this direction, I mean, just, I don't know. It just, something about this is just really special in my mind. And again, I'm not big into forestry. Forestry is probably one of my least favorite things to do. But these kind of maps make me want to get into it. Make me want to be like, okay, I've got to give this a shot. Because not only is this going to require a bunch of work, but it's going to require a lot of strategy too. And you can see this is the forestry plot that you're starting out with right off to my left, or to my right here. This is your plot of land. Now let's see if I can get tucked away back in here. And you can see, even with this small side-by-side, it's pretty packed in here. You got tons and tons of trees. 82,000 trees in total on this map. It's a lot to do. I mean, yeah. And the other thing I also like about this map, it's not forgiving. Not forgiving in the slightest. One of those kind of things where you make a mistake, it could be the difference between, you know, you making, you know, tens of thousands of dollars on a trip of trees, or, you know, going to bed and crying into your pillow at night. I mean, yeah, it's incredible. And again, you get these little areas like this where you can kind of build up, and, you know, you can use them as kind of like little staging areas, whatever the case may be. it's cool. I really think that that's just something that is desirable in this case. Now, this is one of those two-track roads I was telling you about earlier that's really, like, rough. You can see just how much that I'm bouncing around, and if I was going really fast, I'd be just, like, shattering around all over the place kind of thing. And now the road just kind of dead ends and leaves you. So it's just, again, it's just little things like that. If you're not paying attention to where the roads are taking you, yeah, you mess up pretty badly, pretty quickly. Now over here is where you actually get to store some of your starting equipment. You can see it's not a lot. It's not a lot, and you do get a little like log storage here as well. I mean, yeah, I love this. I think it's great. What would I give this map? 0 to 5 scale as per usual. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 all day and night, and I think this map deserves it. This is incredible. What I also like about this map too is it makes the limitations of the hardware, not as evident, because everything is so hemmed in. Your field of view is very focused kind of thing that you don't get a solid opportunity to be able to see that ring of rendering kind of thing. Like if you look right now, you can see it in the road just a ways away from me, but if I zoom in, you can make out in some areas that ring of rendering where it's just, this is the high quality area, this is the less quality area, and then even less beyond that. But these kind of maps really just, all you see is the high rendered areas, and everything else is just kind of in the background kind of thing. And yeah, I 100% approve. 5 out of 5, like I said, and I hope that you enjoyed this map tour. If you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing. The shows you engage with this channel and enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care.